This is The Hub on Hollywood, an iHeartRadio podcast. I'm your co-host, James Rojas.
I'm the other co-host, Jamie Blanco.
On this week's episode, we are reviewing movies about the man, the myth, and the culinary legend in the films The Odyssey and Tony, the Anthony Bourdain biopic.
Right, filmed here in Massachusetts.
Yeah, biopic, as some people say it too. Comment
Sure,
down below, is
sure.
it biopic or biopic?
Oh, that's a good agree to disagree right there.
There we go.
What is it?
Well, whatever your stance is, we are against it. We're the opposite way. The new Avengers Doomsday trailer is out, but is it living up to the hype? Jamie, I'm concerned.
Oh,
What
boy.
does look promising, however, is the Coyote versus Acme movie.
Yeah.
That trailer just dropped as well. I think that's the final trailer, but it's looking fantastic.
Awesome.
All that, casting stuff, casting news, and more. But first, Jamie,
Yes.
another reboot is in the works.
Oh,
but
Lord.
this time, it's a robo reboot.
Oh boy, does
Yeah.
that make it better? I don't know.
It's possible, but let me get your take on this, because I'm going to
Okay.
describe this. I'm going to let you guess which company is behind this
Lord.
reboot.
Oh, okay, all right.
A giant tech conglomerate that convinces the city to place a powerful robot on its police force with the consciousness of a beloved fallen officer on its force. So there is a giant tech conglomerate
Okay.
that is trying to make this big mistake of putting a
Yeah.
sentient AI robot,
this
former
like-
human robot, into a police force.
Is this like Amazon Prime?
It is Amazon Prime. Yes,
Yeah.
Amazon
Okay.
Prime is rebooting. They have a reboot
How did I
series
guess?
in the works, and it's going to be 8 episodes long.
Oh, okay.
So, we'll see how good it
Yeah.
is. But I'm a big fan of RoboCop. I
Okay.
honestly have not seen the sequels. That may be for the best.
Perhaps.
Because RoboCop 1 is
Yeah.
an all-time classic, an all-time
Sure.
incredible film.
Now, but okay, around that same time,
Yeah.
what is better to you though, RoboCop or Judge Dredd? Because
Ooh.
both came out around the same time.
Yeah.
And they're both amazing. I kind of like Judge Dredd better.
Well, Judge Dredd got a better reboot in the film. So
Yeah.
there was the Sylvester Stallone, the original Judge Dredd, again an adaptation from the comics, but Dredd came out with Carl Urban. Carl Urban. That one's a great reboot. That one's a great remake, and they should have made more movies. That's a mistake. That's a sin that was not allowed
Yeah.
to continue. RoboCop famously also had a reboot several years ago with Samuel L. Jackson, not as RoboCop, but I forget the actor. That one got mixed reviews. People
Okay.
didn't hate it, but it just wasn't. It was one of those movies where they asked, why remake this if you can't make it better or just as good? Why are we doing this again?
Yeah.
And so, Dredd had a better reboot, but I am a big fan of RoboCop, so I am interested in this reboot.
Maybe they should have let Samuel L. Jackson be RoboCop.
Yeah,
That probably would have been better. Yeah.
Oh, these mother effing criminals in Detroit.
Yeah.
On this mother effing city.
Beep boop boop
block.
bop. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. Let us know down below. Are you excited for a RoboCop reboot? Again, I'm going to call it a RoboBoot.
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 Okay.
All right.
We'll go with that.
Jamie, trailers dropped. So many trailers.
Yeah.
Some looking better
Than others. I'm really excited about some.
Yes.
Very much so.
Same.
But right, the one that was supposed to be the biggest, perhaps not getting the biggest reaction. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and not only from myself, but the internet as well.
Okay.
Apparently, a lot of people feel underwhelmed. So it is dividing fans, according to Hollywood Reporter. So the trailer for Marvel's Avengers Doomsday received criticism for its use of CGI and lack of cohesive storyline, despite strong advanced sales. In contrast, DC's Clayface, which is a show that's coming out on HBO Max, that one looks really good. And also Universal's Other Mommy, starring
Oh
Jessica
my
Chastain.
God, that's the one I wanted to
Both
talk about.
horror films. Yeah, we will talk
Yeah.
about that for sure. But Doomsday, not looking great. And I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
The trailer dropped on Monday. So this was 2 full days after I had seen the Odyssey, which we will talk about not in great length, but in good length on this episode.
Not for 20 years.
Not for 20 years, not for 3.5, not for 3 hours. But after watching the Odyssey, that's a movie that I haven't been able to stop thinking about and talking about, listening to the soundtrack and recalling scenes, and everything about that was not how movies are made today.
Yeah.
They were how movies were made 70, 80 years ago.
Yeah.
On set, on location, in the elements, with incredible acting and, top-of-the-line visual effects.
Practical visual effects.
Practical visual effects that work. Even like the most outrageous kind of looking scenes or scenery or things, they look very believable, and they were all done like in camera, in frame. This trailer for Doomsday, I'm watching it, and not only did really the beats, like the characters that pop up, like, oh, okay, we all know these characters from all the movies. You have Thor, you have, Doctor Doom, you have the Fantastic Four, you have everybody coming in. I didn't feel wowed by this trailer, but also I was taken out of it so much so because everybody looks like they're standing in front of a screen. And everybody is standing, like there's one scene where you have like 8 characters in one big room. It looks like they were just copied and pasted on there. And I would not be surprised if so many of these shots were like, people were shot individually, or maybe 2 people, and they're added into another room with somebody else.
What I love about Christopher Nolan, his entire strategy for the way that he makes movies is that he feels like the audience can tell. Right?
Yeah.
If something is done in a green screen or something is not done legitimately, right? It's done in a computer or whatever. The human eye, the human conscious, like we can tell, we can see it. It takes you out of the element. It takes you out of the movie. It's not authentic to storytelling, and I appreciate that. But to play devil's advocate for a little bit here, James. We know that the MCU has a history of coming out with trailers that are not authentic, like they're either not polished, polished, or they're not in the movie, right? They're scenes or things that are crafted just for the trailer to get people excited for the movie, and then you go see the movie, and none of that was even in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it could be a little bit of that going on, but I want to be excited. I want to be excited for this next chapter in the MCU, like the new Spider-Man and the Doomsday and all of this. I feel like there's a chance here for the stories to be meaningful again. Yeah. But like you said, if it doesn't look real, it doesn't feel like the stakes are real. It takes you out of it, and it's like, what's the point of the story?
Yeah, after seeing I'm going to be talking about the Odyssey this entire episode. But like after seeing the Odyssey, like in my head, this is what a movie looks like. And watching that trailer and watching, the close-up shots of everybody's face and a blurry background, blurry CGI background, or you have all these different characters that don't look like they're in the same room. Like this doesn't feel like a movie anymore. I could be wrong. I want to be wrong like yourself. I want to be wrong and enjoy this film and hope for good things. But man, the contrast is so night and day after seeing what Christopher Nolan did and then going back into the MCU world, where that world used to be seen as a spectacle, like outrageous things happen, and it's a place of magic and make-believe. The Odyssey felt like that, and it looks 20 times better. Yeah. Some people were comparing, this is an Odyssey episode, some people were comparing the $250 million Odyssey to the $250 million Moana remake. Oh. And man, people put shots side by side next to each other.
How do you spend $250 million?
Well, The Rock takes in 50.
When the Rock looks horrendous.
Yeah.
And you're retelling shot for shot, word for word, an animated movie, and it's all on blue screen. Like, how do you spend $250 million doing that?
Someone's cooking the books.
Christopher Nolan, who has that ingenuity, and it comes through, right? The forced perspective, the human creativity and ingenuity. Sorry, go ahead.
No, he came under budget and under time.
Amazing.
And so, they're expecting, you give a schedule.
Yeah.
It's going to take 3 months. It took 2.5 months, for example.
Yeah.
And it came under budget. They made all that
because they don't have to send it off to get CGI'd every for every little thing.
And not only that, but they're paying for a super expensive film, like IMAX, 70 millimeter film. That's very expensive.
And it all has to be done by hand. And listen, James, but here's the question.
Yes.
Here's the question.
Ask.
We could give these budgets out to filmmakers to make more movies that are more real, but can you put it in anyone's hands? And I think the answer is no, because just looking at Moana, you can't just put that amount of money in anyone's hands and expect to get another The Odyssey or to get more of those kinds of movies and more of that kind of storytelling. So I don't know. What do you think? Is there enough talent out there or enough money to have movies be this way again? Or it's like, is it just a flash,
A flash in the pan? You need talent. But you also need a good story. It comes down to it, the story.
Yes,
and if the Avengers has an incredible story, but the CGI looks wonky now in my own eyes, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but other people mentioned the CGI as well. But if they have an incredible story, then that can, defeat any criticism over CGI effects, what have you. The Odyssey, granted, is a 3,000-year-old epic story that millions, or that people through the millennia have had their own interpretation or take on. So it's a great story by itself. But again, that put in the proper hands of an amazing director like Christopher Nolan, who is meticulous, who's planning every step, and who's also being creative with it, and kind of loosey-goosey with some shots. But I don't know. Either way, maybe I shouldn't have watched the trailer immediately after watching the Odyssey and still soaking in that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, James.
Yeah.
So we are going to be giving a full review, correct,
Yes.
of the Odyssey coming up shortly. But so I don't know.
But other trailers that did look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Other Mommy. That trailer played before the Odyssey. Did it play over? Because you saw Tony. No, you had a screening for Tony, so it had no ads.
There were no.
But you said you watched it on YouTube.
I did.
I'm sure. We saw the trailer right before the Odyssey opened, and it catches you so off guard. Jessica Chastain as a mom, and she comes in, her daughter's in the kitchen, if I remember correctly, and she's like, I'm gonna make you some food or whatever. And then it just takes a very eerie twist, and then it escalates
very
from there.
quickly.
Yeah.
I do like Jessica Chastain.
She's amazing.
But speaking about this trailer, James, and about CGI and things like that, when I saw this trailer for the first time, I thought it was AI.
Oh.
To be honest.
Yeah.
The way that her face looks and the way that she was moving and the way that her eyes were sort of expressionless, like they went from expressful to expressionless and dead and eerie, and like I just felt like it was AI. It just looked weird and creepy, and then you get that jump scare at the end of the trailer.
I would hope not, just because she's an incredible actress. I think she has a lot of range facially as well. So
maybe it was just the range.
Maybe granted, this is a story about an entity that is taking over or mimicking another person. So that uncanny valley. Maybe maybe they went with that, and like we saw with Obsession, a little bit of makeup, a little bit of camera effects. You can try to turn up the creep factor. But basically, Other Mommy is a story about Bella, an 8-year-old girl living in a home with marital problems. She confronts a sinister entity that comes out of her closet. The presence, who she calls Other Mommy because she looks like her mom, becomes increasingly threatening to her and her family. Directed by Rob Savage, as we mentioned, starring Jessica Chastain, coming out in October of this year. Perfect, spooky, scary trailer. It worked. It got me interested.
It got me scared. A definite jump scare. But also, you ever seen Coraline?
I have. Yeah, I saw it once, but it's good.
It's a total Coraline ripoff.
Is it?
It's the other mother.
Well, she goes into another world, right? And
She goes into another world,
other parents.
but it's still like a demonic entity that wants to keep the little girl. And the Simpsons famously made an episode about the other mother and all of this stuff. So I just don't want it to be a total ripoff of that.
Okay, well,
but I mean, I want to be. Jessica Chastain's a great actress. Yeah. I'm interested to see. Can you tell the difference between the real mommy and the other mommy?
It looks good. There's a scene where she's like, "Are you the other mommy?" And then you just see her like, yeah, it's me. But like that again, that
but you don't know.
Cranks up.
But I want to say Other Mother. I'm like, just say what it is. No. It's the Other Mother. You ripped it off Coraline. It's fine. It's a good premise.
Is she named Other Mother?
Coraline? They call her the Other Mother.
Okay.
They call her the Other Mother. So.
Well, we got a bone to pick with you, Jessica Chastain. But who we don't have a bone to pick with is Coyote and Acme versus Acme.
Me.
The latest trailer comes out. This may be the final trailer, but it gives more description of the storyline as well as all the actors, characters in play. So it's being described as this big David versus Goliath lawsuit where Coyote It begins with like a montage of him just getting, wrecked by these Acme products after failing to catch the Roadrunner time and time again. And he's like racking his brain inside his warehouse or like his studio where he comes up with all of his evil plans. And he sees the TV behind him and it's Will Forte, and he's talking about, hey, have you ever been wronged by Acme? Have you ever had a piano fall on your head? Have you ever had rocket shoes launch you to the moon and all of this other stuff? Then you are eligible to join in on this lawsuit because Acme is evil. And then it launches into this whole corporate company versus the little man.
Yeah.
Which
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this one, especially since this was the movie that almost died.
Yeah.
Right? That Warner Brothers wrote it off. Like the whole movie had been filmed.
Crazy.
It was almost done being edited. And they're like, we're just going to write it off and can it. And it's never going to see the light of day.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because it's little man versus big company that they wanted to get rid of it? That they had like a personal vendetta.
No, there's some accountant somewhere in a cubicle who's like, if you just get rid of this, we can write it off and count it as a loss and not pay taxes on our billions of dollars generated.
We'll see.
Possibly. That's what happened. Yeah.
But I think it looks really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing
John
that
Cena's
one.
in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
John Cena. I hear good things about his performance.
He's getting new hair.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So he was talking about recently how did you hear of this whole John Cena balding thing?
No.
So a year ago he was wrestling. He comes back periodically for matches and whatever. So he was wrestling in a match, and all these angles are popping up. People are screenshotting where he has like this bald spot, kind of like balding spot behind him.
John Cena,
yeah. And he has like his hair slicked back, but he has like this spot that's visible. And the internet was roasting him, and like it legitimately hurt his feelings. And so he got like a hair transplant back there, and he has been very vocal about doing it. He said, like, you know what, like people brought it up and like it affected me, but you know what, like that's just in my genes. But there's things nowadays where you can address insecurities, and one of that is getting this thing. So apparently, but recently, I'm not sure if it took. It looks like it did take, but I don't know the whole hair process because obviously I have
a beautiful
watch. My hair's gonna fall out tomorrow.
Luscious hair.
My hair's gonna fall out tomorrow for saying this. But he came out with a picture recently, completely shaved. Bald. So I don't know if he's doing it for a role or if it's part of another hair treatment process. But good for you, John. Again, admitting that it bothered you and that there's no shame in wanting to have a procedure.
If you're going to be truthful about it, you're going to be like, hey, I'm insecure about this thing and I did this thing, and hey, at least you're honest about it. That's fine. It looks great.
Absolutely.
One last trailer I think that is also going to be fun. Maybe not the most groundbreaking or life-altering sort of film, but Super Troopers 3.
Super Troopers 3.
That is coming up in theaters August 7th. The first trailer is out, filmed here in Massachusetts.
Would you say it's outright meow?
I might meow say that. Yes. Right, meow. Yes, exactly. So go see that trailer as well.
All right. Filmed locally. So what else is filming locally?
Yes. I'm so glad you asked, James. It's almost like we do casting calls here on Hollywood. I know. It's amazing. Well, not super, super busy right now.
Super busy?
Not super trooper busy. But a few other projects that are here right meow, including Blue Bloods, filming for a week coming up here in August. Boston Casting is handling that. If you want to be involved, get those casting calls for that. Sign up with bostoncasting.com. There's a couple of other small projects that are sprinkled throughout, some commercials and a few other smaller television projects. One in particular is filming in Rhode Island. But you know.
Are you being very secretive right now?
No, actually, I need a second to pull it up.
Oh. I'm like, oh man, this anticipation.
It's killing me. Right meow.
Right meow. I think you sent me an email too. So while we look this up, be sure to like and subscribe to the Hub on Hollywood. This is why you come to the Hub on Hollywood. Like, comment down below, join the conversation. You can also listen to us anywhere you get your podcasts, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're going to get copywritten so hard. And then we're also you can also follow us on social media at Hub on Hollywood on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that jazz.
mjpcastingcall@gmail.com. mjpcastingcall@gmail.com is handling the project All American, which is filming this summer as well. We're also looking forward to a Mr. Adam Sandler possibly doing a little bit of filming on Grown Ups 3 sometime in August and September. We're looking out for the casting calls for that. If you are non-union and looking for casting and crew calls, a way to break into the union or into acting in particular, we always send folks over to our friends at The Friendly Filmmaker that puts out a weekly newsletter with all kinds of non-union casting calls, of which there's plenty of that as well.
Excellent. Yeah, well, again, if you are an actor, hit us up if you land any of these roles. But if you know anybody who is interested in acting, is an actor, wants to get their big break, send them a link to the podcast so they can keep track week by week with new castings.
Yes. And the other thing filmed here locally that is coming out this coming week, James, Dead City Season 3 is coming out in just a few days from the time of this filming, July 26th, AMC Plus. I can, at this point now, James, confirm that I was a stand-in for one of the lead actresses for Amy Garcia for the entire season of Dead City. I worked on it for 5 months.
Wow.
Here in Massachusetts. I am so excited for people to see this, the latest edition in the Walking Dead universe. But also the early reviews are super positive.
Nice.
Like the show's finally getting it right, and there's so much time dedicated to letting these characters breathe and having a little bit, to flesh out and have a little bit different of a story to tell that is really heartwarming, emotional, compelling, dramatic, funny. All of those things. So I'm very excited to see how it all comes together. I mean, there's going to be, and this is not a spoiler because it was in the promotional material that's been coming out. There's going to be some karaoke. There's going to be Drunk Negan and Drunk Maggie. There's brand new characters, including my actress, Amy Garcia, who plays Renata. And her brother, Luis, who's played by Raul Castillo. And they're a brother and sister duo who have been living their lives in Manhattan and surviving the zombie apocalypse all of these years in Manhattan. And they cross paths with Maggie and her gang. And the rest is season 3. We'll see what happens from there. So I had the pleasure of working on this, and I had so much fun, James. I met incredible people. I got to see so much of the process behind what goes into a show like this. Got to see so many cool stunts and special effects and zombies and goo. It was just great. I'm going to be sharing some photos on our social medias. Nothing too crazy, nothing spoilery, but just a little bit of behind the scenes of, Walking Dead, Dead City, Season 3. Go see it right now. Support local filmmaking, local television, and maybe call AMC and tell them, hey, we want you to make Season 4 here.
Yeah. And we're going to spill all the dirt, too. We're going to get into all the gossip, right?
No.
No, we're not going to do that.
No, we're not.
No, we're not going to do that, no.
There's no gossip. It was a wonderful set to work on.
There could be good gossip.
People. I guess,
You'd be like, oh my God, did you see who plays Negan?
Jeffrey D. Morgan.
Hey, did you hear Jeffrey D. Morgan? He just bought everybody coffee. Oh, no way.
Oh, my God. He bought us stuff all the time.
Oh, my God,
You know? It was great.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Can we get people on who are also on the show?
Absolutely.
Okay,
if you stick here with the Hub on Hollywood over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have interviews with a few people who worked on Dead City Season 3, including some stunt performers.
Excellent.
And others. So, stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. All right, Jamie, I watched the Odyssey, as I may have mentioned once or twice before.
Maybe.
Here and there. But everybody's watching this movie. Everybody is loving this movie. You know, the people who are being genuine about it. I think 99% of the people who go in to watch the film are leaving satisfied and kind of blown away. And what else is blowing away is the box office numbers.
Yeah.
Incredible opening weekend. Worldwide, including domestically, $264 million.
Damn.
Over the first 6 days, nearly $346 million made. It was projected to make between like maybe 110 million domestically. Shattered it. It was like 125 million opening weekend. And this is incredible. Like, the hype is real.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wanted to watch it in IMAX. All the tickets were sold out. Nothing was available. I think our nearest true IMAX theater, 70 millimeter, is in Rhode Island. Like,
yeah, and I was telling you, I tried to get IMAX tickets either at the Jordan's Furnitures or anywhere around here, and they're sold out through August, like through mid-August.
Yeah.
So it's nuts.
I'm planning to see it again, and I am planning to, in August, again, try to find some tickets with some good seats. I don't want to be sitting right at the very front looking up at Robert Pattinson's nose.
Providence, Rhode Island, too, has a big IMAX there, but you got to drive out.
That's what I'm thinking about, like the actual legit one. But yeah, Jordan's Furniture nearby in Reading, that has, it's digital, but it's IMAX screen.
Right.
So yeah, I saw it, want to see it again. Like I mentioned before, I can't stop thinking of this movie. Yeah. Just like Sinners and like that mesmerizing sequence, like the music and dance sequences, and just like one battle after another with the especially the final chasing, rolling waves on the road scene. This whole movie felt like I was entranced by the sirens singing their songs, pulling me into the dangerous
Were you
rocks.
Also screaming?
I was also screaming. I'm loving the memes too. The memes coming out of the Odyssey are fantastic. I love everybody talking about it and how we talk about most things nowadays, and that's through memeing. But in case you are living under a rock, Odyssey, directed by Christopher Nolan, the one and only Christopher Nolan, who I think is the best director working today. Written by Nolan, and of course, Homer. Yeah. Famously. Starring Matt Damon as Odysseus, Tom Holland as Telemachus, Anne Hathaway as Penelope, Robert Pattinson, John Leguizamo, Elliot Page, and Himesh Patel. This has a runtime of 2 hours and 53 minutes, but the pacing is incredible. You do not feel that time at all. You are moving through it. There was no point where I was bored during this film. Because it's constantly moving and jumping. It does the Christopher Nolan thing where, it begins at the beginning, but then you jump to the middle or you jump to the end and you jump back to the beginning. But the way he does it, he weaves it in such a way where you're not lost, you're on track, and it's a beautiful story unfolding. Are you familiar with the Odyssey story?
I am.
Yeah. So they hit all the the big moments. They do take some liberties or some minor changes, but overall, like it's very true to the origin, to the original story. And man, Matt Damon. Yeah. This may be his best movie yet. Ever. Like I'm not even joking. Like, he's incredible in this film. There are some actors. And don't let me get long-winded, but there are some actors where they do a period piece, and I see that actor. That is that actor. I don't want to even name any names, but there's that actor pretending to be living in the 1600s. Right. I wasn't quite sure when I heard the casting of Matt Damon as Odysseus how I was going to feel about it or how he would do in that role. He disappears in this role. I don't see Matt Damon, I see Odysseus in this. And not only is he incredible, but the cast, the full cast is amazing. Like, there's no weak link in this. And some standouts include John Leguizamo, who plays like his servant.
Talk about disappearing into a character, completely unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable. He's one of the standout like scene stealers in the entire movie. Like, he's funny.
Love him.
He's he has these big emotional beats that he nails. He's fantastic. Robert Pattinson. Himesh Patel plays one of Odysseus's like right hand men. And he's incredible in this film. There is, I don't know if it's specifically Nolan or who his casting director is, but they have an eye for talent And for many of the people that, while you're watching these interviews, like Matt Damon or Tom Holland or Robert Pattinson, like there isn't really an audition process. Like Christopher Nolan will call them at home, like, hey, I'm working on this film. It's the Odyssey. I want you to be Odysseus. Like, what? Okay, sure. Like, what do you say to that? You say yes.
You say yes.
You say yes.
There's only one thing that you can say.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that you're talking about this, okay? Because my husband went to go see this movie, and the only criticism that he had, minor, was that sometimes looking at these actors that are sort of well-known took him out of it a little bit. So, like, Tom Holland, for example, and Zendaya, that
I didn't even mention Zendaya.
And Zendaya's in this, and Tom Holland, and it's Anne Hathaway, and that for him took him out just a little bit. Was his only minor criticism. Did you feel that way at any point with any of these people, or did they sort of blend in?
I think if I had to pick out anybody, maybe John Bernthal. But again, that's just
Punisher,
because I see him everywhere. Like, he's the Punisher, and he's in all these other amazing films and stuff and projects. And
who helped Spider-Man?
Yeah, who helped Spider-Man? Yeah, and then him and Tom Holland share
God
scenes in this movie as well as in Spider-Man. That, if anything, but again, he does a really good job too, where like you're just fully immersed and you're believing this entire thing. And so I think, and big kudos to the supporting cast, big kudos to Matt Damon. I do like Christopher Nolan's take on this Odysseus, because maybe in different versions you have an Odysseus who is praised, and in this movie he is praised for, like, it's his idea of doing the Trojan horse, tactic. Get your men inside this Trojan horse, pretend it's a peace offering, be let into Troy's walls, and then burn it from the inside out. And through history, many people have said, have credited this as a genius military tactic. He tricked them. He was able to defeat the enemy by pretending that this was a gift and being applauded by it. And in the movie, he is applauded for it. By his men, by other people who hear the story and the tales of Odysseus. And I don't think this is a spoiler, but Christopher Nolan approaches this like the way how he approached Oppenheimer, where after Oppenheimer helped develop the atomic bomb, and as soon as that bomb is detonated, and then you see like the Pandora's box that he just opened, not only for the U.S., but the entire world, like that amount of regret, that amount of shame, that amount of wishing you hadn't done this, that same feeling, those feelings are conveyed by Odysseus as well. Because back in telling Homer and this story and this era, there's this thing called Zeus's law, where and this is true back in ancient Greece, where you treat every stranger as if they were a god, hidden like in disguise, because the thing is, like, you welcome somebody in, and if you're mean to a stranger or you're rude to them, or if you kick them out to the curb, like, that could be Zeus pretending to be a beggar. And you just kicked out Zeus, and now he's going to mess you up because you dishonored him or you dishonored humanity by doing that. So back in the day, they would accept everybody if they wanted something to eat, if they needed somewhere to sleep, to stay warm. You invite them in. That's Zeus's law.
I like Zeus's law.
Yeah, it's basically, treat others how you would like to be treated.
Yeah.
But by Odysseus using Zeus's law to defeat the city of Troy, because again, he offers this peace offering. They take it in as gratitude, and then what he does with that peace offering is he uses it as a weapon, and so that
to murder everyone in their sleep when they're drunk.
That breaks Zeus's law, and that leads to all the consequences that he and his men and the world, really, the humanity, that's what they all face afterwards. And so Christopher Nolan's interpretation or take or direction in this version of the Odyssey, I think is incredible. And the last 5 minutes where you see what happens with certain characters that are revealed in the final 10 minutes, is jaw-dropping. I won't give away any of those spoilers, but it really does leave you kind of feeling absolutely fulfilled as a movie fan, as a maybe historic a history buff or a fan of history, but also you leave kind of in a solemn kind of nature because you think of, man, like, this is a terrible war crime that Matt Damon's character, that Odysseus, is sorry about.
Yeah.
And you think about all the war crimes that are committed today. It's a lot of self-reflection after this film.
So it's a moral story that has modern application. It's a story that 3,000 years later has relevance and resonance, and that's incredible.
Yeah. Again, I could go on and on and on. I shan't, but I will lastly talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack, Christopher Nolan utilized and wanted to make sure that the music used, all instrumental, was done with instruments that were used back like 1,000 BC, like 300, 500 BC.
Yeah.
So you have like, and I think his name is like Ludwig. I'm forgetting his name at the top of my head, but he basically created all this music that would be heard centuries ago, and it's haunting. It's beautiful. There's a very famous scene in the movie where the men are on a boat and they're passing through where sirens are on the rocks. And, you know, the story of the sirens, they sing their song and they attract men and their boats to the rocks where they crash and die. So we have to avoid the siren song. However, and this is in the Odyssey, in the actual story, but Odysseus has everybody cover their ears with beeswax, so they can't hear. But he has them tie himself up to the mast, so he can't move or run or do anything. But he wants to hear the song. And you think it's going to be like, one, you don't hear the song, which I think is a brilliant move by Nolan, but you just see Odysseus' reaction. You think it's going to be heavenly or kind of orgasmic, and it kind of starts that way, but then it suddenly changes into like a devastatingly torturous experience. And the way he describes the song of what he heard is resonating with so many people who've seen the film. And so I've been listening to like the soundtrack of the film, like driving, you know, while I'm working, driving to different locations, and I'm just like mesmerized, which maybe is not a good thing when you're driving.
Are there real sirens in the used in the soundtrack?
There must be, but man, it's such a good soundtrack. It's such a good listen. And again, I can't stop talking about this film.
You are a soundtrack guy.
I want to see it again.
One other minor criticism I've heard people saying.
Or your husband, maybe?
No, not him, but that I've heard online.
Yeah.
That it's too loud.
No, I wouldn't say so. Some theaters, some people are sharing their audio theater experience. There's some theaters where I guess maybe the mixing isn't right, or maybe it's too loud, maybe it's too low. The theater I was in, you know, like, that's one criticism that Christopher Nolan movies have received in the past, because some people say like the audio is kind of muffled. Again, he uses IMAX a lot, like film, so that camera is really loud, so it may be drowning out some of the audio. So that's been a criticism, but I feel like the audio is kind of perfect in this film, or at least the screening that I went to.
You heard it from James Ross.
Yeah, there are sequences where you're literally being blinded by the screen because there's a storm sequence, a lightning sequence, where you're like, oh my god, like this is intense. I have to close my eyes while this storm is raging, but then you feel like you're actually in the storm because of that visual and that auditory experience.
Yeah.
I know words.
Good job.
But yeah, it's a great film. I know a lot of people, there were a silent minority, a very vocal minority who were very against this film for an array of reasons.
Dang.
None of that holds water.
Okay.
None of that holds water to this film. I recommend watching this film. I'm going to see it again.
I cannot wait to go see it. I'm probably going to go see it with my husband.
Let us know what you think. Have you seen the Odyssey? Comment down below. Join the conversation. Again, I'll join you in the comments down below, because again, I want to talk about this more. But we have only so much battery life in these cameras.
That is true. and in our souls.
Yeah.
But another good movie that people need to go see, coming out soon to theaters, also filmed in Massachusetts. Tony is coming out. I had the privilege to go see an advanced screener, so no spoilers, but I was pleasantly surprised. This is the early life story of Anthony Bourdain. He called himself a narcissistic whelp who needed to be put in his place, needed to be beaten down.
Nice.
Kind of a jerk. Kind of pretentious. Didn't know what he was going to be doing with his life. And it's sort of the early trials and tribulations of the summers he spent on Cape Cod, and how that sort of formed him from a writer into a chef. He talked about how this movie sort of took the accumulation of 3 summers that he spent on Cape Cod, smushed it into one summer for the movie. A little bit of artistic liberty taken with this, so it's not a completely historical, accurate portrayal of his life, but, the general gist is there, I guess. I was pleasantly surprised, very funny, very human.
Dominic
Sessa, incredible performance. He drags you into this movie and you hate him and you love him at the same time. And he does such a great job with the work, with the character. The only thing I got to say to Dominic, in this for his performance in this movie, and this is not a spoiler, it's just he does this a lot, where he's like hunched over.
Oh, hunched, yeah.
And I just want to smack him, because he's a moody teenager.
Yeah.
Right? And just like my kid's always hunched over like this. I'm like, enderezate, stand up straight.
Yeah.
Damn it, fix yourself.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you hunched over for? Stand up.
Embrace your height.
Get the hair out of your eyes.
It.
It's just very full circle, because that's what teenagers look like now, with the hair and the eyes, and they're hunched over because they're looking at the screens.
Yeah.
But
maybe he was in character, because cooks, they lean over the stove. They got to see all those ingredients going in. Make sure the right ingredients go in the dish.
I guess, maybe, but please stand up straight, man. You're gonna get a hunch.
One thing,
you're gonna get a bump.
I know some women who are tall. I guess on the taller end. Online on Reddit, they'll say like, "Oh, I used to slouch as a kid in high school because I was insecure about my height." But now you have people saying like, "No, embrace that height. Embrace it." Yeah.
Tall women are models.
Absolutely.
That's model height.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
All right.
But he should stand up straight. Is all.
So I wanted. Did you hear about the special industry screening?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so A24, Open Table, and Square, they're hosting complimentary screenings for Tony on August 3rd for hospitality industry workers. So nice. Their screenings are being held in 25 cities, including here in Boston. They'll be hosted by local chefs. So the film, directed by Matt Johnson, will be screened with the host of, what's his name? His name is Biplaw Ray right there, co-founder of Pearl and Law Hospitality here in Boston. I guess some of the restaurants that he runs is Comfort Kitchen, Ama at the Atlas, and Foxglove Terrace. So I guess he's hosting this screening locally here in Boston. But I think that's very appropriate. You're treating hospitality workers to a movie about one of the best, well-known hospitality workers in the business.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's a wonderful opportunity. A24 is offering that if you want to look that up. One last point I want to make about this movie is just that they did a great job of portraying Anthony Bourdain's demons. They don't shy away from the dark underbelly of kitchen life and of being a young man in the 70s, I suppose, but also certain addictions that plagued him throughout his life, and may have ultimately contributed to the end of his life. So I thought it was a very worthwhile movie to go see. You will leave thinking about it, James.
All right.
Maybe not as much as the Odyssey, but you will definitely be thinking about it.
So, Tony comes out in theaters on August 21st. Check it out, especially those hospitality workers on the 3rd. All right.
I love it. James, we've talked about a lot of stuff.
So much
stuff. A lot of
stuff.
things. I think I'm good.
I think we're good too.
Yeah.
I think that's a wrap. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on the Hub on Hollywood. Again, as I said before, please join the conversation. We have very deep, passionate thoughts about these projects, these films, and everything else in between. So, join in on the fun. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that jazz. We're at Hub on Hollywood on social medias and streaming wherever you get your podcasts. So,
exactly. And be sure to go out, support the movies and the television shows that were made here in New England, including Tony, including Dead City, Super Troopers 3, just Hollywood East here. And that's why we're called the Hub on Hollywood.
That's how we do it.
This is how we do it. So until next time.
I'm James.
I'm Jamie. See you.
Bye.